Welcome back to Football Coach, episode number 70. We only had two promises this year, and one of them has already been fulfilled, and the other one felt incredibly unlikely from the very beginning of the season. And then all of a sudden, we had a couple of games where things kind of came together, and it nearly happened. But now we're down to one regular season game and a bowl game with 8 targets to go for Connor Frost, and it's highly unlikely, especially as he's last on the depth chart at the position. But as for our team, as we get better, bad things begin to happen. We develop prospects really well, and then they leave early for the draft. And we don't quite have the depth to naturally replace those players, as we aren't perennial contenders that can rebuild on a regular basis, and we can't recruit replacements as easy. So it's pretty devastating for us still at this stage. We're clearly picking it up, and we're on the ascendancy, but we're in some real trouble. Harry Grant, our top running back. Eric Davis, our top quarterback. Roger Lawrence, who doesn't matter as much, but our top tight end. That's two sophomores and a junior. And, another junior in Tyler Devey. 4 guys wanting to leave early for the draft, even though they're all just kind of mid-80s. But Harry Grant is looking like a early second-round draft pick. And he's already full on committed to he will leave. There's nothing we can do to stop that one. Eric Davis is a maybe. He's a late round kind of guy. He might want to stick it out for his senior year. I certainly hope he does. I mean, he's 11-11 on the season so far. Much better. We're approaching 3K yards. He's only been sacked 20 times for a guy who's not very good on his feet, not that mobile. I mean, he's lost 100 yards on the ground. He's only tried to run it 11 times and, done nothing to offset the sacks. But those numbers aren't great. And he really should not be headed for the draft with those kind of numbers. Shouldn't even be remotely close to a draftable guy right now. Yet, he's leaning towards the draft. As is Roger Lawrence, who's only played in 8 games this season. That's our number 1 guy. He's only been targeted 13 times. Our number 3 guy is at 12. We're not that far behind, but we barely use our tight ends. They do not play very much at all in our playbook. And the other one looks like he's leaning towards staying. But then, we got 6 guys craving playing time, mid-70s and above. We've got a lot of work to do to be able to maintain our roster going forward. I've been asked to show the practice focus, and I will not do that on a regular basis because, it's really simple. Downfield passing. A year ago, it was option plays. Once I figured out how effective that was for the quarterback that we had and the roster that we had at the time, it became super obvious. So the second half of last season, we did option plays throughout and got a lot of good results from it. But otherwise, the last few years, downfield passing has been the constant go-to. I used to do the quick passing in the earlier seasons where it was like, come on, let's just try to keep a few drives alive and get a first down every once in a while. So the quick passing and combination of run play calls to just keep the ball moving. Now it's strike while the iron's hot, go deep, and get big scores. We have the offense to kind of do that. So downfield passing is always my go-to. The defensive focus is always just about countering what the other team is. They're pass heavy, so we limit downfield passing. If they're run heavy, we stop the run. I never use the option play option because I never quite know what you have for a mobile quarterback, or at least sometimes I'll figure it out, but rarely for a bowl game I'll pay more attention to what we're up against roster-wise. But so if they're run heavy, it's stop the run. Otherwise, it's downfield passing, because giving up the short one, move the sticks, every once in a while is okay. You can stop as long as you make stops. The downfield passing is the one that really hurts. The downfield passing is the one that leads to big scores. So a pass-heavy team, downfield passing, for me, also downfield passing. Get an advantage there. Even if they offset it, you're still going to be capable, but they're also going to make other things available. Weak offense, one of the last ones in the entire country, yet they are 4th on passing yards per game, and somehow it's working. They're 6-5, and their defense isn't any better than ours, where their offense, we're in 83, they're a 77. We should win, and win comfortably, and yet we're only a game ahead of Hawaii, and we're going to be on the road. We are 5-point favorites for the game, but that's it. Our offense has no advantage over their defense. Their defense, that's only rated a 79, apparently is an 80. At least we're even, right? Normally you're a little bit behind here or there. On the other side of the ball, massive advantage against their rushing game, massive advantage against the pass protection, which will definitely hurt their passing game quite a bit. They should struggle, but somehow, it is a team that keeps finding a way, and that just makes me nervous. They've got a really weak quarterback who somehow has 19 touchdowns and just 9 interceptions, but he's been sacked a ton. The wide receivers aren't any good. It just, on paper, it doesn't make sense how Hawaii has been so effective. They've got a pretty good linebacker. They've got a pretty good D lineman. And they have 3 injuries, and we have none. We should be winning this thing. Let's get in there and see. It would be 3 in a row. Those last 2 have been pretty comfortable as well, especially the last one, 44-13, by far the biggest win we've had against Hawaii in 16 seasons. This is our 17th. Oh, but it's raining, and it's raining heavy. That could impact the game today. They've got a decent crowd on hand for this one as well. Cover 2 on a 3rd and long, and we get the stop. So they not 3 and out. They did have a first down in there. So 4 plays and out on that first drive. Really weak punt, also just 30 yards. We're going to go play action wheel right off the bat. I like it. Doesn't work, but the second play, the wide corner does. Curl combo. I don't like that we're going to the air this much. Let's put the ball on the ground a little bit. Trust our strong running back that we have, who gains a yard. Let's go with a more appropriate screen pass with the bubble screen. A couple blockers in front. That goes absolutely nowhere. Was that incomplete? You drop a bubble pass or misthrow a bubble pass. 3rd down, 53-yard field goal with a 20% chance. I don't like giving them that field position. We're going to just punt. Not great, but just the 12-yard line. At least it is inside. Remember, we're going up against an offense that really shouldn't do much. They are deep pass, that's their thing, so they are going to get some. There's going to be an occasional play. As you see, they're moving 10 yards at a time here. And again, 3rd down. Cover 3 sky. There we go. Punt. It's going to be a slow stop, but there's enough weaknesses in their offense that I do think we're going to be able to do something. Now we go to the ground and find some success. First time we go to the air, and that's a first down. Second time to the air, another first down. Play action. 2nd and 2, mid-draw. That's a 1st and goal at the 5. The inside zone works. The offense clicking that time, 7-0. Halfback sweep. Seemingly gains about 40 yards. And then they fumble at the end of the play. Alec Rogers, who catches up to the sprinting Cohen Morton, causes the fumble and picks it up himself. It looks like it was 2 yards back, meaning he really kind of just knocked it down and then dove on it. That's where it landed. Our ball. I'll take that, but that was a nervous moment. They gained 40 yards on the ground when they don't run the ball. It's 2nd and 10 here. Not a very good gain there. It sets up a 3rd and pretty long, and we end up punting. And it's a terrible punt. Only 26 yards, and they managed to get a solid return on that. How in the world did we do that? But I love how we just did this. First play from scrimmage, and Tyler Devey, the D lineman, sacks the quarterback, knocks the ball loose, and falls on it. And we start with the ball at the 24-yard line with an incompletion, and then after 5 yards on the run, sets up a 3rd and 5. Flanker curl can get us close to the end zone or set up a field goal. It sets up the field goal, 36 yards with a 75% chance that we can't make it, even with the rain being a factor. Sure, 3 and out at least. Start with the ball from midfield, but too many mistakes here early on. Third and very short. Don't even be shy. I love 3rd and 1. Just put in the goal line and use your line to get enough push and gain a yard. There's our first sack of the day. Going backwards, we get a couple back, but sets up a 3rd and very long tight end attack going deep. 3rd and 14. I guess. It works. It works. 1st and goal, but at the 10. Difficult to score from here. Run play option sets up a 3rd and 2. I think we're in 2-down territory to goal line, add push, and go for it. We don't get that one. It backs us up. We already missed a field goal. Starting them from the 3. But 4th and goal. 4th and goal. If we were neutral or went forward a yard, I think we'd go for it again. I'm going to take the field goal. I'm going to take the field goal because we went backwards. 10-0. 10-0. Very much not where I want to be at this point. We should be much further ahead. Defense seems to be playing well after giving up a little bit early on. 3rd and 3. That's enough for a first down. Inside zone. Run game's kind of working, but not consistently right now. Short passes are okay. Slants middle. No. Punt. And again, not our punters having a rough day. And I think that a lot of that's the weather. 2nd and 15. Cover 4 quarters does not work. We've got 4 guys back there and you can't stop them. Yikes on that part. 3rd and 11 this time. 3rd and 11, they just went and got 7 points. That's the problem with an air raid team. That is the problem with an air raid team. We can dominate, only give up a handful of first downs, and then all of a sudden it's in the end zone. Missed extra point. That's how rough the weather is right now. Corner strike, and we're low on time. 2.5 minutes to go. 2 incompletions, 3 incompletions. We didn't even turn the clock, and we can't even punt. And on the first play, with still 2 minutes left, they're already at the 40. Just like that. Just like in the blink of an eye, we go from looking like we're going to blow them away to they might have the lead here in just a second. 3rd and 4. Outside linebacker blitz. Got it. They're going to go for it on 4th. Gap press. And we stop them. That one was incomplete. Still a minute left. 1 timeout. We're going to have to obviously go to the air if we're going to have any success here. And going short's not going to help us. We're going to have to go a little bit on the deeper side. Deep shot with dump off underneath to get the first down. No, we take a sack instead. And punt. Wow. 44 seconds left against an air raid team that could, maybe do something. 22 seconds now. 3rd and 10. Stop. Punt. That'll take us to halftime. All right, we're going to begin play in the second half with a short return there, or a decent return anyway. And very nervous about how we are playing. Our kick game is not helping us. That's a real disadvantage right now. And there's some complications. First down, mid-draw. Another mid-draw. This time it works. Flanker dig. Run play option. Okay, 3rd and short. This is a good call for that one. The Y stick results in a sack. It takes you all the way back to midfield and completely out of your simple 4-down territory. Shooting ourselves in the foot here. Big time. Big time shooting ourselves in the foot. Blitz does not work this time. And Hawaii's starting to move that ball a little bit. Cover 2 sink. There's a punt. The short passing has not been working today at all. At all. Have we even tried a medium pass? Well, we do there. And then we go backwards on 3rd and short. And they muffed the punt. And it wasn't a great punt. And we're going backwards with the ball now. But at least the field position game that was them starting with the ball around here is now actually them starting with the ball here, but still not the outcome you want. 2nd and 1. First down. Let's not cover 3 sky right now. Let's go cover 2 man. Okay, outside linebacker blitz. No, they are moving the ball much better than they did in the first half. There we go. There's a stop. 2nd and 13. This time we can engage 8, go for it, and that works. End of 3rd quarter. Cover 4 quarters does not stop them. Come on. They don't have a good quarterback or receivers. We know what they're doing. We're calling the right plays. And here is Hawaii somehow, while not having the talent, getting results. Field goal. Good. 1 point game. That extra missed point right now matters. We should have 40 on offense already, but we have nothing happening. And there's our first turnover of the day, an interception, and all the momentum is in Hawaii's hands. 3rd and 11. There's a stop finally, and they're going to punt it from here, which goes for a touchback. So the ball only moved about 12 yards. Outside runs have not gone well, but let's try something a little different because the inside stuff hasn't gone well either. 3rd and 5, and we can't complete a pass, so we end up punting. I already called it before the play even happened. I knew it was going to happen, but at 3rd and 5, you have to go to the air, right? Turnover. That's like the 3rd one of the day for them, I believe. Good field position as well. Middle slant, no. Run play option, that's the only thing that is working. Deep attack, no. Look, 3 and out. 3rd and long. There's a stop, though. I think we got to start chewing clock. The way things are going, we can't go. I don't even know the last time we completed a pass. Fullback inside. Jet sweep. Hey, that works. Under. Okay, a little bit of a gain. There's enough for a first down. Halfback sweep. Killing clock pretty quickly here. Also down to 4 minutes. 3rd and long, right? Yeah. Fake screen wheel does not work. 38-yard field goal. Chance to go up by more than a field goal. The way things are going, I think you got to take your chances with that. So we do. We make it 13-9. What an awful day we're having, and all of a sudden Hawaii's just like, okay, I'm going to march the ball down the field. There's a minute and a half left in this game. I should probably be changing play calls. Minute 17. There's a sack. There is a sack. Caldwell on the sack. Sets up 2nd and 16. Sending 5, I think, is good for the circumstances, especially with their difficulties. The cover 4 quarters has been terrible today. 3rd and long, they've had so much success on 3rd and long. There's less than a minute left here. They are going to go for it on 4th down if that happens. I think I'd rather be playing in a man-to-man. We're only going to send 3, add an extra 1 back, and that works. It turns into a sack. Nobody's open. He holds on to the ball too long, and eventually one of those 3 get to the quarterback, and now it's 4th and 24, and they're going to go for it. 4th and 24, they've got to go for it. I'm nervous about playing this kind of play, but this is the only kind of play you make in 4th and ridiculously long. It falls incomplete, and we can take a knee if we win the game, but it was ugly. Ugly as they get. Only 250 yards on the day to their 389, and it was the difference in the air. They had a 100-yard advantage, but even on the ground they had an advantage. We were absolutely pitiful today. They had 4 turnovers, though. 4 for 18 on 3rd, plus a turnover. Just as ugly as it gets. Our offense. It's the worst performance we've seen since the first couple of seasons. 4 sacks and an interception, 15 for 40. The weather was everything to do with that one. And our opponents never seem to suffer in the same way that we do. But the reality was their offensive line is bad. And we got 7 sacks, and we got pressure on their quarterback enough to get 1 interception. But otherwise, he was 50%. He had 240 yards. They moved the ball on the ground just fine. They moved the ball in the air just fine. We just kept getting pressure on the quarterback because of the quality. But the circumstances, the 4 turnovers, that was all fumbles. That was a muffed punt for one of them. I mean, it was Morton having a bad day, a 79 senior, with his 2 out of the 5 fumbles he's had for the entire year. Ball security is an 84. Yikes, that's kind of rough, but you take a big penalty in the rain. And Grant did not make mistakes, and Grant is much better rated, so I think that's one of the big reasons for that. But just shocking how bad the weather made that for us, and how seemingly unaffected they were by that part, except for their running back, who kept coughing up the ball. And all of a sudden, we've got 3 guys ready to commit, and one goes. And it's right? Are you kidding me? We were only a little behind Hawaii. We just beat them in the head-to-head. And I added a little NIL on that one on top of it, going, I know he's about to commit. And if we beat Hawaii, we should get this guy. We beat Hawaii, and they get him anyway. But we do get our other 2 at least. We get a B+ with durability. We get an A+ with durability. A+, but a 65 overall already. Every once in a while, I think it's okay to grab somebody a little bit on the lower side durability, because if we have very few injuries across the board as a team, it's okay to have a super talented player every once in a while who is somewhat injury prone when you have quality backups behind him. It's when you have lots of low durability players that you run into problems. So I think the occasional is worth the trade-off on that one. But shocking that we didn't overtake Hawaii in the battle for Joshua Wright, and I have 0 offensive linemen. Actually, that's the first 2 I've signed, the corner and linebacker. That's the first 2 that I've signed so far this season, and that's surprising. There's been a lot of quality and a lot more interest, and we're in the midst of a lot more battles, but I don't have very good recruiting coaches, and they're just losing steadily in almost every battle, and there's very few that we are ahead on. And South Florida took a loss, but they have the tiebreaker. So as I predicted, we did get 1 out of the 2, but I also feared that losing one of those would end up removing us from a division title, and that's exactly what it did, because South Florida did go on to win both, and we have identical records, but they beat us head-to-head. So they've got that tiebreaker, and they still end up winning the division. And it was the right team. I mean, they absolutely kicked our rear end to the curb in that game. But we are a top 40 offense. We're a top 40 defense, both in yards and points. And we're 8-4. I expected this to be a 6-6 season. We had 3 top 10 teams on our calendar, and we're 8-4. We beat one of those teams who fell out of the rankings entirely, had a pretty rough year, but they were a top 10 team preseason. And yeah, we lost to South Florida, and we also lost to another 8-4 team in Syracuse. But otherwise, we beat everybody else on the calendar this year. We had 2 very sloppy, ugly wins, East Carolina and Hawaii, and both of them actually ended up 3rd in their respective divisions, even though for East Carolina, that's 3-9, not 3rd place. And we comfortably took care of business with everybody else. So it actually has wound up being a quite good year. At 8-4, we are on par for our best record ever, win or lose, in the bowl game to come. And our prestige will continue to rise as a result. Will it get to a 4? I don't know. But that's the clear next target, because we've got a 4-star and a 4-star and a 4-star. There's 3 4-star programs. If we can get ahead of them, it would be us in South Florida getting promoted. We still have 4 more years to make that happen, and we're very much headed that direction. We might not get to 4 stars this year. We might not, but we're absolutely headed towards that 4-star direction. And I think we can get ourselves to 5 stars before that next realignment happens, and it would be us in South Florida moving on. That's just how close we came. The final tally was just 163 points behind on Hawaii. They had medium-low interest. We had medium interest, and yet we just could not outpitch them. We had advantages, but our coaches just not good, and they were going ace, and we don't even have an ace pitch. So they just kept out earning. We offered that $300K NIL, which kind of matched what they had previously. We win that head-to-head. They only gained 295 points very early in the season when they lost to Alabama. We only gained 440 for beating them. Oh, that wasn't the Hawaii game, because that was during week 11. South Florida just eked out a victory over Indiana 27-26 to win the Patriot Championship. USC, Ohio State, Georgia all winning those ones. Arizona upsetting Utah, and Notre Dame with the upset over Clemson. It looks like we're going to have two undefeateds heading into the playoff. And they'll be the number 1 and number 2 seed. Ohio State and USC, who we both played, remain undefeated on the year. Really prestigious bowl game for us, though, as we're going to be all the way up into bowl week number 2 for the first time, which pays out better than bowl week number 1 on the TV money. But it's LSU. Top 25 LSU, and we're going to be massive underdogs for that one. On to the award winners, and you'd think we're going to be eligible for a few of these kind of awards this year, but it's Utah and their quarterback who has won the Heisman. Defensive Player of the Year is a defensive lineman from Miami. Freshman of the Year is Miami's quarterback, redshirt freshman. And the Coach of the Year is the USC coach. Little surprising with their prestige level that would go to them, but I suppose that works. No first team All-Americans, but I doubt we have any this year. I don't think we've been that good, that strong at any position. And no first team, second or third team All-Americans. But as for the league, it's the USF quarterback who's won the league player of the year. It's a Syracuse D lineman who's won defensive player of the year. Freshman goes to the Temple cornerback. And I'm a little surprised by this one. Syracuse wins Coach of the Year for an identical record to what we have. We had a tougher schedule than they did. We are a lower prestige program than they did. This should have been the year that we actually got that. It was an incredible year from us. Barnett makes first team All-Conference at wide receiver. Willis at linebacker. Barber at corner. Crockett at offensive line. 13 pancakes and allowed 2 sacks. That's actually really poor numbers for a guy of such quality. And Juan at safety. 5 first team All-Conference players. I think that's a record for us. Second team, McClure, Grant. So 2 running backs making up the second team. Grant really didn't do anything. I mean, he only had 4 touchdowns this season. Yeah, he got 700 yards, but really disappointing year from Grant. And I would look forward to next season, but it looks like he's gone. He is going to leave us and head to the NFL. Christian, 20 for 29 on field goals is actually really bad. I'm quite surprised that he made second team All-Conference, but I guess he's probably got quality that others don't have, and apparently others aren't kicking the ball well either. But Christian also gets second team punter. 9 awards in all for the team. Pretty sure that's comfortably a record. Favorite target overall is somebody I'm finally going to give up on. I've held on to hope, especially with figuring if we can beat Hawaii, maybe we can get some sort of jump, and it just didn't happen in any meaningful way. Love this recruit. It's a 61 overall running back with A+ and A-. Just fantastic prospect for down the road. This could easily be your next Grant, easily, in a few short years. But we just can't keep up with Hawaii. We beat them head to head, and they just easily outpitch us. They don't even pitch occasionally on weeks because their gain is so superior to ours on a weekly basis, and I've been hanging on to that one way too long. And really the only reason why I'm ready to let it go is because we found this player who's an A-, B+ at the same position. So pretty dang good prospect himself, and we're ahead. So it looks like we're actually going to get this one. So moving on. It did take a little bit of an NIL deal to push us from second to first, but now that we are first, we seem to be doing just fine. LSU at 85-85 is almost stronger than we are. This should be a total blowout. They're only 6.5 point favorites because we have similar records, but the reality is they should be beating us by 21 or 28 points quite comfortably, especially on their offensive side where their passing game has just an insane advantage over us. It's not even close to being competitive. They are top 30-ish in most everything besides they give up a little bit in the pass game. where we've been good. We're top 40-ish or top 45 in everything, but it's against, yes, we've played a few good teams, but it's still very, very different. Very different. Both teams healthy going into the game. That's definitely not going to help us. Their coaching staff sucks. No wonder they're losing some games. They have quality. They should be a playoff team. But it looks like they have some really, really weak coaches this year. We did do a trio of games against LSU in the early days. They were top 12 every single time we played them. This was the 26, 27, and 29 seasons. 58-10, 65-6, and 73-7. We've come a long ways since then. We shouldn't be getting blown out that bad. Right? Hopefully. No rain. That should help us a little bit. But we're going to receive the ball here. And we're going to go for the air raid. That's a aggressive tactic. There's a famous tight end stick that actually works inside zone. We're at midfield. Our offense is actually moving the ball. There's that tight end stick again, and the Y corner that's either an interception, an incompletion, or a big gain, like every time you do it. Strong flood actually works, and we are in the red zone on this first drive. Holy cow, we're moving the ball, Crow Flats. 2nd and 2, incompletion. Got just enough for a first down there. Let's not go back to the Crow Flats. Let's take the tight end under. Yeah. 7 points. 7 points. We're on the board. Oh, almost got a 3 and out there. But they get that third down, and now they're moving the ball at will. Tie game. That was a lot faster. A lot faster than what we managed. But at least we are not going home empty-handed. But we might be going home rather soon. Eric Davis's pass is intercepted. And they get a decent return out of it. And they're already in the red zone. They got enough for the first. I thought we stopped them. They're in a play later, 14-7. Great return there. Jet sweep does not work out. Inside zone does not work out. The wide receiver smash works great, though. 32 yards. And we've got ourselves a first down. Could we level the score? End of the first quarter. Oof, why stick? No, let's not take a play with a punishment. We can't afford anything like that, so we'll take the bubble screen. And get 8 yards. Ooh, not a quarterback sneak scenario. No, thank you. Goal line. Give it to your halfback. Get enough push. Level the score. 14-all. We've already outscored the previous 3 times that we had played against them. There was not a chance of stopping them in those previous times. And so far, we've been pretty okay today. 3rd and 2. We're hanging in there. We're going to lose this. But at least we're avoiding a total blowout. 21-14. Outside zone. Tight end stick. Halfback slam. First down. Zone weak. 3rd and long. Oh, we got a first anyway. And then a huge play. Ian Tate. 37 yards. Ian Tate, on paper, is my 5th best running back. But he had that promise to get the 50 carries, so we bumped him up to number 3. And then he's had so much success and by bumping him up to number 3. He's a 76. The 2 guys ahead of him are a 77. It wasn't like a massive leap to give him that push to be number 3 on the list. But he's been so successful that I've left him at number 3, even though he eclipsed that 50 carry mark a long time ago. And he does a great job there keeping us in this game for now. Play action wheel scores, and it's 21-all. Sack. Punt. Can we take a lead? We've had one of those in this game. 4 verticals on 3rd and long, and it works. Slot post angle works. Strong flood works. Halfback slam. Sets up a 2nd and goal from the 3. The quick slants. Puts it in the end zone, and we do lead. Just under 2 minutes left in the first half, and we lead 28-21. They go for the return. Doesn't work out too great. Sets up a 3rd and short. 3rd and short. Let's just go crazy. Overstorm Brave. Man-to-man. Hold them to a yard. 3 and out. They're going to punt. We're going to get the ball back with 1:15. We are not going to run. We've got 2 timeouts. Let's put the ball into the air. Deep pass. Corner strike. Gets us 6. The tight end stick. 3rd and 2, that is. And we have to punt. Okay. Momentum halted. But we're going to head to halftime. 30 seconds left. Out of timeouts. Right? Head to halftime. 22 seconds left on the clock. Field goal defense. They're going to take the field goal, miss it. 7 seconds left. Halftime with a lead. Holy crap. But they're going to start with the ball here in the second half. 2nd and 9. First down. Somebody got talked to in the locker room. Somebody got talked to in the locker room. It's a tie game. They looked strong on that drive. Their defense looking strong. 3 and out. Ground game not working in the second half, but we get just enough for a first down there. Smash digs. I'm not even sure I've seen it today. Works. Double unders. Works. Jet sweep. Does not. Bubble screen. A little. 3rd and long. But that's a first down. Halfback gut. Inside zone. That's a first down. Halfback zone weak. Play action. We're going backwards. 3rd and 18. And so long that we end up punting instead of getting a chance at a field goal. And somehow that goes for a touchback. Come on. Christian, that was not a good punt from you. End of the 3rd quarter. Whew, that happened fast. We're into the 4th quarter. A stop here could still give us a chance in this game. But if they score, we're in a little bit of trouble. They're not moving at will, but they're moving. They are moving. Let's get to that man-to-man a little bit more. That's our bread and butter. 2nd and 1. 1st and goal. Touchdown. Down by 7. Can't believe we're in this game, like, at all. First down there. First down there. Run play option, no. 3rd and long, we're in a little bit of trouble. Let's go deep instead. No, slot outs. Converts, but it doesn't give us the first down. Complete the pass. Not quite enough for a first down. Sets up a 4th and short. This is essentially for the game. It's a first down. And then it's a touchdown a play later. Ian Tate, 29 yards. That's why we left him in. He's elusive. He is very elusive, and they couldn't touch him. 35 all. 6 minutes left. I cannot believe we are in this game. I thought this was going to be a blowout. I didn't think it was going to be that 70-7 kind of blowout that we encountered with the first few times we played this team. And we're still very likely to lose this game. But no matter, because it's going to be close no matter what. They are moving at will right now, though, up against it. 5 plays, all 5 net at least a first down. Closer to about 20 yards per play on that. Just comfortable. 3:46 left. And now our offense is up against it. Cameron Hope gives us hope. Cameron Hope, 73 yards. Now it's just 30 yards to go. 30 yards to go. And there's a plan up here. There is a plan up here. That's not going to help us, though. Sack. And we're not going to that tight end stick. Medium pass, that's punished. So deep is not. Take that slot outs. Take that dump off underneath. It does not work. 3rd and long. That does not work. 50-50 chance and 2:41 left. Such a long, though. It's a 4th and ridiculously long. Take the field goal to give us a chance. We make it. We're down by 4. I know that the math does not do well for those circumstances because they're going to chew clock. We have to hope for a stop, something we have not been doing. But go to man, go to the cover 2, and we don't stop it. There goes one timeout, slant weak. We don't stop it. Okay, they're going to be taking a knee here in a second. 2nd and 2. Send the house under smoke. Nope, first down. They take a knee. The 2 thoughts that I was having at the end of the game there was, 1, we go into the end zone, we're going for 2. Going for the win. 1 play to win or lose the game. Because LSU was always going to have the advantage in overtime. Always have the capability, the strength to beat us head to head. 2, I was going to go for it on 4th down and push, but the only reason why I took the field goal in those circumstances was I knew that if we only had a 50-50 chance on the field goal, but it was 4th and 15. They were going to put, 8 players beyond that line, that first down marker, And there was no way we were going to complete that. There was no way we were going to get that first down to stay alive, and then it's just game over. So take the consolation prize, get the 3, and hope for the best, which did not work. But oh man, 42-38. Like, what a game. Yes, we lose, but we hung with an 85-85 LSU. This team has come a long way in recent seasons. Finished the year 8-5. Only 1 turnover on the day. Very competitive. Better than 50% on those third downs. We managed to move the ball against an 85 defense. Yes, it's a loss, but great performance. I'm just nervous about how gutted the team's going to be with a bunch of guys jumping ship for the NFL. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.